Let me tell you a little about our much-loved hometown, Mount Olive, Mississippi. Mount Olive is a quaint, historic little town with fewer than 1,000 residents, less than an hour away from Jackson, Hattiesburg, and Laurel. She is a diverse town, both racially and economically, but she is one community, one family, one very special hometown to the generations of her residents who care about her. Her iconic feature for over 100 years is in a historic, tree-lined boulevard lined with a collection of houses reflecting architectural styles of the 19th and 20th centuries. Mount Olive is home to many churches, the K-12 Mount Olive Attendance Center, Regions Bank, Greer's Grocery Store, and Green Tree Medical Center, making all essential services available within walking distance of most residents. Mount Olive is almost 120 years old now. She's a grand little town, but she's beginning to show her age. We would love to honor and remember her past and enhance her future by restoring the historic houses lining her historic boulevard. 3 century-old homes on Main Street have been lost to fire in recent years, and several stand vacant as their owners have died, others are now rental properties, and some stand neglected and forgotten. What a better 120th birthday present could there be but a Mount Olive Main Street makeover? A makeover would spark interest in the history of our town among both residents and visitors. This renewed interest in our town and its history would foster a new sense of pride in our heritage and interest in preserving our historic assets. It would bring wider exposure to our historic tree-lined boulevard, which has been a landmark for over 100 years. Our beautiful boulevard would become a lifeline for Mount Olive as residents and visitors travel down its length and enjoy the century-old homes lining it as they head to the downtown area to shop and dine and enjoy our town.
Hi, I'm Brittany Norman Applewhite, and this is Briar Banks Applewhite, Mount Olive's newest resident. I'm so glad that I get to bring my baby home to the town of Mount Olive that I cherish and love so much. My family has lived in Mount Olive since the early 1900s, back to my great-great-grandparents. My grandparents then moved into this home here in Mount Olive, and I was raised coming here on the weekends, spending time with them, spending time in town, and have so many cherished memories here in Mount Olive.
Hi, I'm Lucille McNair. I'm from Mount Olive, Mississippi. I'm the mother of Steve McNair, Fred McNair, Tim McNair, Jason McNair, Michael McNair. And what I want to say is that Steve was a loving person, and he always wanted to give back to his community. It was brought to my attention about the Steve McNair Museum in Mount Olive. Mount Olive is a small town, and if we can get this museum, to honor him, I believe it will bring people back to the town of Mount Olive and focus on what the good things that Mount Olive can accomplish.
Okay, this store has been here since 1904. These are some of the originals. It's soda fountain. We do hand dip ice cream. We have a lot of people that come in and get ice cream. And there's a lot of history in this store. There was a doctor's office upstairs, lawyer office upstairs. The doctor was Dr. Calhoun, and he was one of the greatest doctors in town.
My name is Caleb Easterling, and I originally am from about 10 or 12 miles away from the city of Mount Olive. And my mother was from a large city in Alabama, and I convinced her to move to Mount Olive in particular because there was a pretty house on Main Street for sale. And so she purchased the house on Main Street, and Mount Olive has a beautiful avenue that goes down Main Street, and a lot of historical homes with great architecture, and I believe that this would greatly help Mount Olive with the historic homes here in town, as well as some of the businesses.
A makeover would attract new businesses to Mount Olive, as its perception of a vital part of Mississippi's past, present, and future is reinforced and promoted. Some things take us back. These are called memories. Some things take us forward. These are called dreams. Our dream is that Mount Olive will be restored to her former beauty and economic viability through your hometown rescue. Our community stands ready to mobilize behind you and your whole team. As you can tell, we love our little hometown of Mount Olive and would love to have you visit us for a tour to see her beauty. We bet you'll fall in love with her too. Let me share with you a Thankful Thursday blog written a few years ago. I'm thankful I live in Mount Olive. Everyone knows who you are, where you live, who your grandfather was, how many children you have, and what kind of car you drive. Living in Mount Olive is walking into the bank and being greeted by your name, and then being remembered by your high school teachers when you run into them in the grocery store. It's where someone, or many someones, will call to check on you if you miss church services or if your porch light doesn't come on at dusk. It's your neighbors in Mount Olive knowing when you're in trouble and rallying around you. They visit you when you're in the hospital and bring you a casserole and sit with you when you lose a loved one. When something tragic happens, you feel the love from everyone around you. And when something great happens, you'll probably be in the weekly newspaper. Living in small town Mount Olive is kind of like having a family of almost 1,000 people, all friends and neighbors, who know all about you and love you just the same. Come home to our hometown. Come home to Mount Olive, Mississippi.